Hello, I'm Org, and in this video I will review the Grumman F2F, a good all-round Tier 2 US multi-role fighter. But first I'll tell you a bit about the history of this aircraft. The F2F was the second Grumman fighter for the US Navy. That is actually what the name means: F for fighter, 2 for second, and F for Grumman. I don't know, it just is. Anyway, the F2F was a fairly straightforward redesign of the original Grumman FF. The FF, or FIFI, had its origins in a US Navy request to Grumman to redesign the Boeing naval fighters with retractable landing gear. Grumman responded by simply designing their own aircraft. The FF entered service in 1933 and at that time was a very fast aircraft. However, it was weighed down by the tail gunner that Grumman decided to include in this design. The F2F changed this design feature. The tail gunner was removed, the airframe lightened, and it was also made watertight, which is a useful feature in a naval fighter. It was also given a slightly more powerful engine, which, when combined with 20% less weight, made the F2F a very fast aircraft for its day. This plane entered service in 1935 and was in frontline service until 1940. Despite having a fairly lengthy service history for the time, F2F never saw combat. In fact, of the three Grumman biplane fighters, the FF, F2F and the F3F, the FIFI was the only one to shoot down enemy aircraft, a German Heinkel 59, while flying Republican colours in the Spanish Civil War. The F2F and other Grumman biplane fighters are interesting because they demonstrate the frontier between World War I and World War II designs. All the fighters had enclosed cockpits and retractable undercarriage, comparatively modern features to improve aerodynamics. However, they were still biplanes with the resulting disadvantages and benefits, and of course the FF had a tail gunner, which, well, was a fighter plane idea from the First World War. Looking back, it seems strange that one would bother making like an aerodynamically smooth airframe when adding a second wing would add more drag than an open cockpit or fixed landing gear would, remove. But of course the designers and aviators at the time did not see it that way, and instead saw it as getting a little extra performance out of the biplane airframe. Anyway, in World of Warplanes, the F2F is the start of the American line of multi-role fighters. It is a very capable fighter aircraft, although I do not recommend attacking ground targets in this aircraft. When fully upgraded and not carrying bombs, the F2F is the fastest aircraft in Tier 2, even faster than the German heavy fighter in level flight. It combines this top speed with the lowest stall speed and a decent rate of climb, which combine to make it a very good energy fighter, hampered only by its low dive speed. However, it is one of the best turn times at this tier, losing out to only the A4N and the I-15, so most of the time energy fighting isn't actually necessary. The F2F is capable of sticking to the tail of most aircraft and simply whittling them away. The F2F has two choices of armaments. I flew out with one 7.62mm machine gun and one 12.7mm machine gun. But flying out with two 7.62mm machine guns is also doable. In that configuration, the F2F can outturn every aircraft except the I-15, and the lower weight will also improve soft stats that aid energy fighting. However, I found this configuration to be a little too weak for me in terms of firepower, so I stuck with the 12.7mm machine gun. For a change, I actually feel comfortable giving advice on how to fly the F2F. Over the course of 117 games in this aircraft, I scored 183 kills and a 63% win rate. The F2F's chief advantage in this tier is its engine power and speed. Admittedly, while being superior to other aircraft in this tier, the F2F is not like energy fighters in other tiers where you can simply run away from your enemies. Your speed advantage just simply isn't that great. Instead, I found it best to use this aircraft's speed, rate of climb, low stall speed and engine power to outfly enemies. Essentially, if you put the nose of this aircraft up in the air, use your boost, and everything else being equal, your opponent will stall out before you. Because of this, my go-to defensive manoeuvre in the F2F was actually the Immelmann, which I know has a lot of critics, but it does have its uses. Essentially, this is the first half of the loop, but at the top, instead of coming back down, you roll over and continue fighting at a higher altitude. Most fighters at this tier will struggle to follow you through this manoeuvre, and by following it up with a tight climbing turn, they will almost certainly stall out, and if not, a second Immelmann will do it. There are of course exceptions to this if the enemy has higher speed than you before you enter into the climb. However, a tight turn before the Immelmann will cause a pursuer to lose speed and bring them down to your energy level, assuming they follow you through. This can be risky, particularly if there are enemy aircraft above you, since they will be able to pounce on you at the top of your climbs while you will be vulnerable. But I still found great success with this tactic, helped by the fact that I tend to go for the higher enemy aircraft first. Offensively, I use the F2F as a simple turn fighter, with the occasional yo-yo thrown in to clear friendly aircraft or get behind an enemy quicker. One thing I have not mentioned yet is that the F2F doesn't roll particularly well, which means some forethought needs to be taken when aiming, since the target aircraft reversing direction can put them well in front of your sights if you do not respond quickly. The most dangerous aircraft you'll come across is the I-15, which can outturn and outclimb you. While you are faster than the I-15 and have an altitude advantage, these are not sufficient to use boom and zoom tactics against them. Instead, you'll just have to be careful and try to prioritise their destruction, since they can be a headache for you. As for using this aircraft in a ground attack role, it simply isn't worth it. The guns are not much good strafing, and the F2F can only carry 2 bombs. Bombs do of course weigh this aircraft down a lot and make it less manoeuvrable and slower. Bombs are also not that useful for suppressing anti-aircraft fire, since you basically have to fly over the AA guns to use them, taking damage in the process. And destroying a maximum of 2 ground targets is not going to help your team win the game. But carrying bombs will probably make you vulnerable enough that you won't be able to help your team destroy any aircraft. And with that, I've imparted all my experience in flying the F2F. As I said before, it's a very capable fighter that, with very little skill actually, can outfly anything in its tier. So we'll just finish off this replay. At the moment it's a 3-on-1 with us all going over this last F2F. But for a while we were losing this quite badly, and with that I-15 that just got its ace on me, basically carried that game. 9 kills between the two of us. Got 3 more replays to show you, so I'll talk you through them. This first one's on Winter War, and we see people attacking ground targets directly beneath us. And it's an XP31, so it's just a simple dive straight down. And I know I can turn with that guy, no problems, but I've got all this energy, so I might as well use it. Actually, it's not so much use it as keep hold of it, because I might have to climb after this guy's dead. And well, first kill, nice and easy since it's straightened out to strafe ground targets. And as I said, gaining altitude. See a demon. Demon ignores us, so we can come around on its tail. And well, it rammed my teammate, so I got a pretty easy kill since it was on such low damage. And now it's a 2-on-2. They're both XP31s. XP31s can outrun us, but we can outturn them. And that one's heavily damaged and at high altitude though, and it just seems to be content to run away for now. Now with the last one, appears to be strafing ground targets directly in front of us, at least judging by what's popping up on the minimap. Friendly XP31's gone off to, I was going to say it was chasing the damaged one, but no, it's strafing ground targets as well. Which looks like this might be on me. And by this I mean the entire game. There it is. Just wait till we fly over it. Then roll over, and down we come. Another easy kill. And it's the third. One enemy aircraft left. It's heavily damaged over the enemy base. And I'm not sure what it's doing. Oh, is our friendly XP-31 engaging it? Kind of. I don't see any bullets. It's actually probably just trying to lure us over AA guns and get them to kill us. But that's not really a good tactic, since it's going to take AA much longer to kill me than it is for me to kill this guy. I mean, those people where you say, you know, stay over friendly AA, don't go over enemy AA, they're really just bad players. Or at least they've got no confidence in their ability to destroy enemy aircraft. It's like, well, this is bad, and I wouldn't do it at the start of a match. At the end of the match, when you've only got one aircraft left, it's pretty easy to do without any problems. And well, the XP-31 doesn't turn very well, so I'm going to get there eventually. And well, there you go, I only lost a third of my health. This next game starts off a bit, well, let's go interesting. See an XP-31 in the skewer down below us. I dive down to the XP-31. Not really dive, but turn into it. But my team kills it. In a second they will. I'm sure they will. There you go, just before I get a chance to steal the kill. And then all my team chases after that skewer, who appears to be AFK. And meanwhile, the enemy team, they seem to have gone entirely strafing. It seems like already about half of our ground targets are destroyed, and the rest are being, well, damaged quite quickly. But I suppose that's what's happened when you get 3 Focke-Wulf 57s, since people seem to love loading them up with bombs and flying them out as bombers. And there's the first one. The first one I've spotted. Coming around to intercept it, and I spot another Focke-Wulf 57 down below me there. But if I dive on that one, I'll put this one on my tail. So I go after this one first. Get him nice and close. Oh, I get a fair bit of assistance from that Focke-Wulf 159. And well, we get an assist. Well, there's the P-23. That's actually something I should be fighting. You see that tail gunner of that plane took away a third of my health. And well, there's 3 more aircraft with tail gunners to go, so I can't do them all myself. I mean, not unless I start trying to dodge the tail gunners. Got another assist on the P-23. Here's a skewer. Just line up behind it. Skewers actually have a fair bit of health, so it will take a while to kill that guy. Luckily I had a Focke-Wulf 159 helping me. You saw I did a tiny bit of a yo-yo there. That was just to, well, I'm doing it again here. It's just to prevent me colliding with that Focke-Wulf 159. It takes us out of the same airspace when we aren't shooting at the enemy. I actually think I probably hit it then. And I definitely hit it then, almost rammed it actually. And then we get the kill. Turn the other way to avoid the Focke-Wulf 159. See a heavily damaged Focke-Wulf 57, actually almost rammed it. But that was a quick way of getting around on its tail. There's the second kill. 1 enemy aircraft left, Focke-Wulf 57. I've still got 47 hit points, so I should be able to take this one out. Well, that was an implement if you're wondering, but wasn't using it defensively. Now me and my Focke-Wulf 159 friend are just going to tear this guy apart. Of course its tail gun is doing the same to me. 11 hit points, 8 hit points, 6, 3... 1 hit point I survive. Ah, cool. Now this one, Winter War again, it's the final replay. See an A5M who's ignoring me, and well, A5Ms, actually I should have mentioned them, they're quite dangerous since they can outrun you easily, and they're pretty similar in terms of turn, and they can probably outroll you. So you probably should watch out for these. But I've almost got the kill once I get my guns on target. Like I said, you've got to time your rolls a bit better than that to be able to keep shots on target. There we go, first kill. Tier 3 fighter, and quite a dangerous one. An F2F is shooting at me, but sees me coming and breaks off. But I can get around it. And on its tail, and it's ignoring me now, which means it's going to die. Okay, 2 skewers. As from the last game, can be difficult to kill since they've got so many hit points and a tail gunner. I've done a fair bit of damage. My guns have overheated though, so it's going to take a bit longer. I pull up to get above them, go down, get 1 kill, my 3rd, and the other skewer's on my tail. So it's not really an Immelman, it's going to be a loop this time, because I'm going to come right back down this guy's tail. Well, that wasn't really a loop, that was more of a Immelman slash turn. But at this point, the skewer's not going to have a good day. And last one we've got left is an I-16E, which is a very dangerous aircraft. But this one seems to have spent the whole game strafing ground targets, so probably actually not that much of a threat. .200 meters out, 800. Thought for a second it was thinking of coming at me, but it went at my teammate. And my teammates both decide to go head on with it, which is not really the way to fly any aircraft, at least not light fighters. Well, we can outturn the I-16, but it can outroll us, and it's using that superior roll to actually keep out of our gun line. And here, well, the AA guns are being annoying, so I can take them out. And now we have the I-16E all to ourselves without any annoying AA fire. And there's the final kill.